I'm back to another exciting adventure in Satisfactory. So, a lot has been going on, and I needed to find aluminum. And aluminum comes from this ore, bauxite. It's quite a process. So, this is where I am now, and my main base is actually like way here on the map. So I'm all the way up here. There's a giant cave over here that kind of like snakes around and takes you out here. That cave down there. I had to travel all the way down here. And then I had to find the bauxite. And then I discovered that there are these giant radioactive pigs. I found this one patch over here that was pretty close. It's an impure patch, so it doesn't produce as much as I'd like it to. And it's guarded by, there he is, radioactive pig. Radioactive pig is really hard to kill, shoots radioactive stuff at you. I get nothing out of him because he's radioactive, and I take damage just being near him because he's radioactive. And there's another one that like patrols down this area. So like I died once or twice, trying to get over here to even set this up. And then I was like, well, how am I going to get this bauxite back? Because this cave is a little too small, I thought, for a train. But I guess, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know trains very well. But like this area just seems like a little too small to set up like a train station. So I was like, cool, I'll put a truck, right? But all my fuel is in the oil fields, which are like a really far way away. So how do I get fuel up here to fuel the truck to drive the bauxite all the way back there? Well, clearly I need to drive fuel up here from another truck. So I have a truck that trucks fuel, turbo fuel, all the way up here. And then some of this turbo fuel is going back with the bauxite, as you can see here. So I'm trying to pull some turbo fuel over on by my like main factory area, so I have access to turbo fuel all the time without having to go back. But I did discover it's kind of a neat little loop. So I'm going to switch. I have a hover pack that works when I'm near my own electricity, and then I have a jetpack that uses turbo fuel. So we're going to use this jetpack, and I'll show you. I discovered through this wilderness over here that if I go far enough, I actually circle around back to my own oil fields. And it was kind of a neat little discovery that I was like, cool. Also, there's nitrogen there. I'm going to have to come out here eventually soon because I'm kind of like researching nitrogen. But there's the truck. I'm going to show you the weird route because also because of this area, like the truck has to take this weird, stupid route because it's like on cliffs. Yeah, I know there's some alien artifacts and slugs I just haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, the truck route is really long. It's kind of convoluted because in order to get down to where I actually have the fuel, I have to like circle around these cliffs over here. And so okay. Well, we're not gonna die while I'm doing this here now, are we? No. Alright. So it goes all the way over here, and see, there's cliffs. Annoying cliffs, more cliffs, and like, you're a truck. Trucks don't drive down cliffs. They fall off them. And then how am I supposed to get all the way back up? So this truck route, I'm sorry, is kind of long and boring, but you can see just how convoluted it is, that it circles all the way around over here. Wow, there's things behind me throwing stuff at me too. It circles down through here. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. I had to build a little thing here. Here's the train station. Well, here is the train platform for my original first train that's still doing plastic and stuff like that. Truck drives all the way over here. Keeps going, keeps going. We are almost there. And then the truck arrives, haha, to this truck station, which is at like the back end of my oil plants. So this truck station collects fuel, turbo fuel over here. It fuels a truck, so I have a truck that collects fuel, that drives it over to a truck that collects fuel. Those are my original turbo fuel generators, and what happened that was kind of frustrating is I realized suddenly all my trucks were out of fuel, and I was like, why are all the trucks out of fuel? I've been collecting all this fuel for ages. It was just sitting here collecting and collecting and collecting, and I just had like infinite amounts of fuel. Well, so remember how I mentioned that plastic and oil stuff produces a byproduct. So these plants over here, they produce fuel and polymer resin. Fuel goes over to there, it gets mixed with compacted coal, turned into turbo fuel, comes back here, goes and fuels those generators, right? The resin I had going into a stockpile over there, going into this machine. This machine was producing plastic. Plastic was going into this machine over here. It was producing these containers for the plastic. Turbo fuel was being packaged into the containers and sent around. So I kind of had this neat little, it all seemed to work. There's just infinite plastic because I can't produce. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to worry about it. What happened was this thing of plastic over here was full, 100% full. And so since it was full, this machine over here, this refinery, had max plastic. It couldn't take any plastic out of here. Since more plastic couldn't go into here, they couldn't produce any more plastic, and since they couldn't get rid of their byproduct, they stopped making fuel, which shut down all my fuel generation, which shut down my power, and I couldn't figure out where I went from like 4,000 power to like 2,200, and I was like, how did my power disappear? And I didn't notice it until my truck ran out of gas, and then I was like, wait, how did the truck run out of gas? And then I came over here and half my power plants were shut down, and yeah, it was a big giant conundrum that I had to fix. So I implemented, these are the Awesomes. It's called an awesome sink. Essentially, you could just throw any excess product you want into it. I have a couple others in other areas. It eliminates the product. If it is worth points, you get points. This one doesn't. I don't think this one actually takes any points from plastic resin. I'm not sure if plastic resin is worth points because it's not like an actual product. It's a byproduct. But anyway, you get coupons. Coupons let you buy stuff. Use it to as a resource sink to get rid of some stuff that you have extra or too much of, just to help make things run smoothly. It's like your ultimate recycler. But yeah, so that's the first part of my aluminum was radioactive pigs. How do I get fuel up there? Making fuel go all the way over to the truck, trucking the fuel to the second truck. The second truck trucks it back to another truck. I will have a secondary video where I will show you the actual aluminum production.